Hello everybody and welcome to this video on my channel. On this channel I'll be going through some of my personal watches and talking about some watches that I personally find very interesting that don't get all that much love in the watch scene. And today I will be starting off with this IWC Da Vinci Perpetual calendar, a model that was introduced originally in 1985. My version is from 1996, but I believe they made this version already in 1985. Its reference is 375025, indicating the red gold, 18 karat gold case, and the black dial. This is a combination that you do not see all that often. You most often see either steel with a black dial or yellow gold with a white dial. So when I saw this watch pop up online at a good price, I'll talk about pricing a bit later on, I kind of had to jump on it because I was scouting for a piece like this for almost 2 years. As you can see, it comes with matching rose gold, 18 karat rose gold hardware. Mine came on a Wempe alligator strap originally. This would have come on a black IWC alligator, but that is unfortunately not with me anymore. Although I do have box and papers for this watch, so that's lovely to have. A couple notable things about the Da Vinci Perpetual calendar especially is that the movement technology for 1985 was very impressive. It was the very first perpetual calendar movement that was able to set all the functions from the crown, as opposed to, for example, Patek, who is still, and Omega at the time, who's still using all these kind of small pushers around the case where you have to set all the calendar functions individually. This is almost like a Rolex Datejust. I will not do it because a perpetual calendar movement cannot go back. But what you would do is you would unscrew the crown. It has a screw down crown and 30 meters of water resistance. You would unscrew the crown, and in the first position, you can roll over the calendar, just like a Datejust in essence. It's a very simple process, and thereby setting all the functions immediately. And then the second crown position is the time. And so that leaves you with only these two pushers, which are the chronograph. And the chronograph is actually quite snappy for a 3750, especially the start-stop button. I feel like IWC made some changes to make it more tactile. The reset is a bit soft, but it works well, and it snaps back to 12 perfectly there, as you can see. Another very interesting thing about the dial I find is that I don't know if you guys can really see it, but the disc for the moon phase is made from stone, aventurine to be exact, which is a type of stone that is sometimes used for complete dials, but in this case really makes a beautiful night sky where you see the glistening of stars behind the moon there. And then, as you can see in the subdials, all the red hands are the calendar, and the blue hand is the running second, and the blue hand here is the hours of the chronograph. And then one other interesting thing I believe is that in terms of movement, the 4-digit year on the perpetual calendar had never been seen before on this watch. Or on this type of watch, the perpetual calendar. I strongly advise you guys, if you are interested in the Da Vinci, the model, to look up on YouTube the video interview with Klaus, the head watchmaker of IWC at the time, who developed this module. He's a very interesting character, and it's always nice to know a bit more backstory about the piece. I think there is just a couple more short things to touch upon. One is the case diameter is 38.5 or 39, depending on how you measure, which makes it extremely wearable for an IWC for a change. This is on my 18 centimeter wrist. You can see it wears really beautifully. That is also due to the fact that the lugs are double hinged. So you have a solid pin there attaching the lug to the case, and then a push pin attaching the lug to the strap. Meaning that if it is completely flat, you have a 52 millimeter, I believe, a lug-to-lug distance. But effectively, It can drop down all the way, so you could wear it on a very small wrist. I think on my 18 centimeter wrist, it is really well suited as a modern day dress watch, but I wear it almost daily. I find it to be very wearable, and it's not extremely expensive for what it is. Especially with the current market prices, you can pick up a really nice Box and Papers example of this black version, I would say for around 9.5 or 10,000 euros, which is for a solid gold perpetual calendar chronograph from a well-known brand. I think quite cheap, a steal you could even say. And there's a lot of interesting versions as well. So if you want to get really nerdy, you could get for example, a ceramic zirconium in either black or white. The whites are extremely rare, I've noticed. But that could be a cool collector's watch to have. Or you have a Rattrapante version as well, and a tourbillon version with all kinds of special editions. So I believe you have this version as a special edition for the Italian market, which has some inscription on the back. You have a limited edition blue platinum Rattrapante with so a blue dial platinum case, and you have a tourbillon with a hand engraved gold dial. You have a full pavé in white gold with ruby indexes, and a full pavé in yellow gold with ruby indexes. So if you want to collect, then this is definitely a good watch to have. One thing to note is that the crystal originally was plexiglass, so acrylic, but IWC offered a service in the 90s, I believe, to have the crystal replaced with sapphire. So if you are buying a watch, you have to realize that you can basically get either, so you'd have to think about what you would prefer. If you find this video interesting, and if you'd like to see more of my personal watches reviewed in a similar style, then please do subscribe to the channel. I also have a Instagram that has the same name as the YouTube channel, on which I post photos of some of my watches. So if you'd like to see more, please subscribe and like to help me with the algorithm of YouTube. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.